When most foreigners start researching retirement in Thailand, Pattaya is usually one of the first places they come across. And it makes sense. Pattaya is internationally famous. For decades, it has attracted foreign visitors and retirees from all over the world. The city has a huge expat population, international hospitals, modern shopping malls, and restaurants serving food from almost every corner of the world. For many retirees, Pattaya feels like the obvious place to start. It offers familiarity in a foreign country, convenience, and a ready-made community of other foreigners who have already made the move. But something interesting has been happening quietly in recent years. Some retirees who originally planned to settle in Pattaya have been choosing somewhere else instead, somewhere much smaller, a quiet town about 20 minutes down the coast that many people outside of Thailand have never heard of, a place called Bang Saray. So why would someone choose a small fishing town over one of Thailand's most developed coastal cities? Over the past few days, I've been spending time in Bang Saray, walking around the town, sitting in local cafes, and paying attention to what daily life here actually feels like. In this video, I want to show you what I found and why some retirees are quietly choosing Bang Saray instead of Pattaya. When people begin researching retirement in Thailand, Pattaya almost always appears near the top of the list. It's a place that has built an international reputation over many decades. Even people who have never visited Thailand have usually heard the name. Part of this reputation comes from history. Pattaya grew rapidly during the Vietnam War era when American servicemen came to Thailand for rest and recreation. Over the years, it's expanded from a small fishing village into a large coastal city filled with high-rise condominiums, shopping complexes, and an entertainment scene that operates around the clock. For newcomers considering a move to Thailand, this familiarity can feel reassuring. Moving to a different country involves language barriers, cultural differences, and practical challenges. Arriving somewhere that already has a large foreign community can make this transition feel much easier. And Pattaya delivers on that front. International supermarkets sell familiar products from home. Western restaurants serve everything from English breakfasts to steaks and European dishes. Banks, hospitals, and clinics often have English-speaking staff. Online expat groups are full of advice from people who have already navigated visas, housing, and daily life in the city. For someone stepping off a plane with little experience of Thailand, Pattaya can feel like a soft landing. But after spending some time there, some retirees begin asking themselves a different question. Do they actually want to live in such a busy city full time? Pattaya is not a quiet place. Traffic can be heavy, the central streets are crowded, and nightlife areas stay active late into the night. Construction is constant as new condominiums and hotels continue to rise, and the beaches are often busy with tourists. For some people, this energy is part of the attraction. They enjoy the activity, the variety, and the sense that everything they might need is available somewhere in the city. But others begin to crave something different, somewhere quieter and more relaxed. That's when nearby places like Bangsaray start appearing on the radar. Bangsaray is close enough to Pattaya to access everything the city offers, but far enough away to feel like you're in a completely different environment. You can drive into Pattaya for hospitals, shopping, or restaurants, and then return home to a town that moves at a much calmer pace. For some retirees, that balance turns out to be exactly what they were looking for. The moment you arrive in Bang Saray, the change in atmosphere is immediate. If you're driving down from Pattaya, you'll pass through Jomtien first, which still feels like an extension of the city, with rows of condominiums and a busy main road. But as you continue south, the landscape begins to open up. The buildings become lower, the traffic thins out, and the roadside shifts from commercial storefronts to small local businesses and occasional glimpses of the sea. By the time you reach Bang Saray, the difference is clear. Traffic moves slowly here, not because of congestion, but because there's simply less urgency. Motorbikes cruise along without weaving through traffic, and pickup trucks carry fishing equipment down quiet streets. Along the waterfront, rows of fishing boats are moored in the harbour. These are working boats, painted in bright colours and equipped with nets and gear. Fishermen still head out early in the morning and return later with their catch, and fishing remains part of the town's daily rhythm rather than just a scenic backdrop. Local seafood restaurants line parts of the waterfront and nearby streets. Many are simple, open-air places with plastic chairs and Thai-only menus, where the seafood is often as fresh as it gets. There are far fewer high-rise buildings here than in Pattaya or even Jomtien. The skyline is lower with smaller condominiums, houses and traditional shop houses instead of large hotel towers. The tourist presence is smaller as well. You'll still see some foreign residents and visitors, but not the large tour groups or crowds that fill Pattaya's main areas. Bang Saray still feels like a working coastal town that happens to have some foreign residents rather than a tourist destination built around them. Walking along the waterfront promenade, the atmosphere feels relaxed and unhurried. People sit by the water, talk with neighbours, and watch the fishing boats come and go. For someone coming here from a busy city, that shift in pace can feel surprising at first, but after a while it can start to feel like a relief. Before going further, it helps to understand exactly where Bang Saray sits and why the location matters. Bang Saray is about 20 minutes south of Pattaya by car, depending on traffic. The coastal road connecting the two is straightforward, making it easy to travel between them whenever needed. The proximity is one of the main reasons retirees find Bang Saray appealing. You're not living in a remote village far from modern amenities. Instead, you're just down the road from a major city with international hospitals, shopping malls, and a wide range of restaurants. Heading in the other direction, Bang Saray is roughly an hour and a half to 2 hours from Bangkok. The drive is mostly along well-maintained highways, which makes occasional trips to the capital or the main international airports manageable. There's also a closer option. Utapao International Airport is located nearby and has been expanding in recent years, offering domestic flights and some international routes. For retirees who travel regularly or expect visitors, having an airport close by can be very convenient. For many residents, this location creates an ideal balance. Pattaya has become their service city. If they need a hospital appointment, a shopping trip, or a particular restaurant, it's an easy drive away. But at the end of the day, they return to Bangsaray, a quieter town with a slower pace of life. Of course, this arrangement isn't for everyone. Some people prefer to have everything within walking distance or to live right in the center of the action. But for retirees who want a peaceful home base while still having access to city conveniences, Bangsaray offers a very practical compromise. Understanding what daily life actually looks like in a place is important for anyone considering living there. Photos and travel videos can only show so much. What really matters is how ordinary days unfold week after week. After spending time in Bang Saray, you begin to notice a fairly constant daily rhythm. Mornings tend to start early, as they do across much of Thailand. The cooler hours before the heat builds are when most people head outside. Along the beach, you'll see residents out walking while the air is still fresh, couples strolling, individuals getting some exercise, and the occasional dog following along. Down by the harbour, fishing boats begin returning from their early trips. Crews unload the night's catch while fish are sorted and prepared for the markets. If you're up early enough, you can watch this routine play out along the waterfront. Nearby cafes start opening as well. Some serve mostly the local Thai community, while others attract foreign residents who have settled here. It's easy to find a coffee, a simple breakfast, and a quiet place to sit while the town slowly comes to life. By midday, activity slows down. The tropical heat pushes most people indoors or into shaded areas. Local markets remain open, selling fresh produce, meat, and seafood for daily cooking. These markets cater mainly to local residents, which keeps prices reasonable and the atmosphere very much Thai. As the afternoon heat fades, the town gradually becomes more active again. Seafood restaurants along the waterfront begin settling out tables and preparing for dinner. Many are simple, open-air places where the focus is on fresh food rather than elaborate presentation. Locals and foreign residents often end up dining side by side, watching the harbour as the evening settles in. Sunsets along this stretch of coast can be particularly beautiful. As the sun drops over the bay, the sky often fills with shades of orange and pink reflected across the water. After sunset, Bang Saray winds down fairly quickly. There are a few small bars and cafes where people gather for a drink or conversation, but nothing like the nightlife districts found in Pattaya. By 10 or 11 at night, most of the town has settled for the evening. Daily life here follows a simple, steady rhythm. For some retirees, that slower routine is exactly what they're looking for. For others, it might eventually feel too quiet. Whether Bang Saray feels peaceful or limiting often depends on the kind of lifestyle you want in retirement. One of the most common questions people ask when considering retirement anywhere is the cost of living. Thailand has a reputation for being affordable compared to many Western countries, but actual costs vary depending on where you live and the kind of lifestyle you want. In Bangsaray, the overall cost of living is generally a little bit lower than in central Pattaya, although that gap has been narrowing as more foreigners discover the area. Housing is usually the biggest expense. In Bangsaray, you'll find a mix of condominiums and small houses available for rent. Some condos are in newer buildings with amenities like pools or gyms, while others are simpler and more affordable. Houses with small gardens or outdoor space are also available, which appeals to retirees who prefer not to live in high-rise buildings. As a rough guide, a decent one-bedroom condominium might rent for around 10,000 to 20,000 baht a month. A two-bedroom unit or small house could range anything from 15,000 to 30,000 baht per month, depending on the location and the size, obviously. Properties closer to the beach usually cost more, while places further inland are often cheaper. Utilities in Thailand are generally reasonable. Electricity can vary depending on air-conditioned use, but most people find it manageable. Internet is widely available and relatively inexpensive. Food costs depend largely on how you choose to eat. If you're comfortable eating at local Thai restaurants or buying food from local markets, meals can be very inexpensive. Fresh fruit, vegetables, seafood, and simple Thai dishes are widely available at low prices. If you prefer imported produce or Western style restaurants, your budget will be higher, although still often cheaper than in many Western countries. For healthcare, many residents travel to Pattaya when they need larger hospitals or specialist services. There are also small clinics in Bang Saray for more routine needs. Overall, many retirees find they can live comfortably in Bang Saray on around 50,000 to 70,000 baht per month, depending on the lifestyle you choose. It's not the cheapest place in Thailand, but it still offers a comfortable quality of life without requiring a very large retirement income. After looking at what daily life in Bangsaray is like and what it costs, the next question is simple. Why do some retirees choose this town instead of Pattaya? From conversations with residents and time spent here, the reasons tend to come up again and again. The most obvious is the quieter lifestyle. Many retirees have spent decades living in busy cities, dealing with traffic, crowds, and constant noise. When they finally reach retirement, the idea of moving to another hectic environment doesn't always appeal to them. Bangsaray offers something different: quiet streets, less traffic, and a much calmer atmosphere. Another factor is the lack of nightlife. Pattaya is well known for its bars, clubs, and entertainment districts that stay active late into the night. For some visitors, that's part of the attraction, but many retirees prefer a place where evenings are peaceful and the town settles down early. Traffic is also noticeably lighter compared with Pattaya's crowded streets. Getting around Bangsaray is far less stressful, whether you're driving, cycling, or simply walking around town. Some retirees also mention the strong sense of community. In a small town, you quickly begin to recognize familiar faces, the same people at local cafes, markets, and restaurants. Over time, casual encounters often turn into friendships, creating a feeling of belonging that can be hard to find in larger cities. Others appreciate that Bangsaray still feels like a Thai town first. The market caters to local residents, daily life follows local rhythms, and the overall atmosphere feels less shaped by tourism. Finally, many people like the balance the town offers. Pattaya is close enough for hospitals, shopping malls, and a huge range of restaurants whenever you need them. But at the end of the day, residents return to a much quieter place. For retirees who want access to city conveniences without living in the middle of the activity, that balance can be very appealing. It would be unrealistic to describe Bangsaray as the perfect retirement location without mentioning the trade-offs. Like any place, it comes with limitations that some people accept easily while others find frustrating. One of the most noticeably different things is the smaller range of options. Compared with Pattaya, Bangsaray has far fewer restaurants, cafes, and international dining choices. There are some excellent local seafood restaurants and a handful of places catered to foreigners. But if you regularly want a wide variety of international cuisine, you often end up driving into Pattaya. The expat community is also much smaller. In Pattaya, you can find clubs, hobby groups, sports communities, and social events for almost any interest. Bangsaray has foreigners living there, but the scale is very different. Some retirees enjoy the smaller, more familiar social circles, while others miss the variety and activity of a larger city. Shopping and services are another practical consideration. Bangsaray has local markets and small shops, but major shopping malls, large supermarkets, and many specialist services are located in Pattaya. For medical appointments, banking, or certain repairs, residents often make the short trip into the city. The quieter nightlife is another trade-off. For retirees who enjoy peaceful evenings, that's a benefit, but for those who like bars, live music, or a busy evening atmosphere, Bang Saray may simply feel too quiet. And this is why some retirees eventually decide it's not the right place for them. After living there for a while, they realize they prefer the convenience and variety of a larger city like Pattaya. The important thing is understanding your own lifestyle. For some people, Bangsaray offers exactly the balance they want. For others, it may feel a little too slow. If you compare Bangsaray and Pattaya directly, the difference is very clear. They are fundamentally different types of places that attract different types of retirees. Pattaya is a large, busy city that stretches for miles along the coast. The population is huge and constantly changing, with tourists, long-term residents, and people from many different countries. There is always something happening: restaurants, nightlife, shopping malls, entertainment, and services of every kind. The expat community is also enormous. Whatever your interests are, there's usually a group, club, or social circle built around it. For people who enjoy variety, activity, and have endless options, Pattaya offers a level of convenience that few places in Thailand can match. Bangsaray is the opposite. It's a much smaller town with a quieter atmosphere and a slower daily rhythm. The foreign community exists, but it's smaller and more familiar. There are fewer restaurants and services compared with Pattaya, but what exists tend to be simple and local rather than built around tourism. Markets serve local residents, seafood restaurants focus on fresh catch, and daily life follows a more traditional Thai pace. In many ways, the choice between Pattaya and Bangsaray comes down to personality. Some retirees enjoy the energy, convenience, and constant activity of a city like Pattaya. Others reach a stage where they prefer something quieter, simpler, and more predictable. Neither place is objectively better than the other, they simply suit different lifestyles. For people who want the city energy and endless options, Pattaya makes sense. For those who prefer a calmer environment but still want to be close to a major city when needed, Bangsaray can feel like the complete balance. So after looking at the town, the lifestyle, the cost, and the trade-offs, the real question becomes simple. Is Bangsaray the real place for retirement? The honest answer is that it depends entirely on what kind of life you want. Bangsaray tends to suit retirees who genuinely enjoy quieter places, people who prefer calm daily routines rather than constant activity, people who don't feel the need for endless entertainment, nightlife, or a huge range of options every day. Life here is simple and predictable. Mornings start with a walk along the beach, afternoons pass slowly in cafes or markets, evenings are usually quiet with restaurants filling up, and the town settles down early. For many retirees, that slower rhythm is exactly the appeal. But it doesn't suit everyone. Some people move somewhere quiet and eventually realize they miss the activity of a larger city. They miss the variety of restaurants, the convenience of big shopping malls, and the constant energy of places like Pattaya. Others simply want more options around them. And that's completely normal. Retirement can last decades, and different personalities need different environments to stay happy. That's why one of the best things you can do is try the place before making a permanent move. Spend a few months living there, not just visiting. See how the daily routine actually feels once the novelty wears off. From what I've seen walking around Bang Saray and talking to people who live here, this town works very well for a certain type of retiree. Not someone looking for excitement every day, but someone who values quiet streets, familiar faces, and a slower pace of life. Sometimes the best retirement location isn't the biggest city or the most famous destination. Sometimes it's a smaller place nearby, the one that simply feels comfortable. Bang Saray seems to be that place for quite a few people. Whether it might be that place for you is something only you can decide. If you've enjoyed today's video, could you just do me a massive favor and press the subscribe button? Really helps the channel push to people like yourselves who are looking at some of these coastal towns around Thailand for retirement. Thanks for watching the video today, and I'll see you on the next one.